Once you have plugged in the instrument, you want to turn it on from the back. When you turn it on, it will go through a startup mode. You need to wait until the instrument actually comes up and the startup mode comes through and the main menu is shown. So turn it on. The software will load. It will do an initializing routine where the spindle goes up, spins, and comes back down. And now the main menu is shown. The next thing that you want to do is you want to go into the settings because we are going to check all the sensors on the instrument. The settings page is located in the lower left-hand corner. It is the middle circle that has what looks like 2 gears. You want to select the gears, and then the main software comes up. The first thing that you are going to then do is select the sensor tab. This is where you're going to check out all the sensors that are on the instrument to make sure they are working. So the first thing in the lower hand corner, or the lower half of the page, you will see all the little boxes. We're going to go through the menu and you need to make sure that all the boxes get checked. So you will see the first box says Z-axis home. That indicates the spindle is home. How you do that is you go to the Z-axis tab. You're going to enable the motor power button. It will backlight. That's how you know it's on. You will go to the Move tab and you will see the button that says Home. You will select Home and the spindle will home. Once the spindle is home, return back to the sensor and you will see that the box is checked that yes, the spindle has homed and the sensor is on. We now want to select from the menu Begin System Test. When you select that button, the instrument will automatically go through a systems test. It will direct you as to what to do for the next step. So you're going to select Begin System Test. It will go through the initializing. It will say move to loading position. Before you move it to the loading position, you want to go back to the sensors page. You want to make sure that it says at the bottom, Z-axis bottom is checked. What that means is that you want to say that the spindle is at the bottom of the stage, and it is. So you are verifying that the spindle is at the bottom, the sensor reads that, and it is checked off. So now what you want to do is you want to go back to your test. The flashing red tells you to move to the loading stage position. So you want to move to the loading position. It will tell you that the system is okay. You want to make sure you go back to your sensor. You want to make sure that your stage load is checked off, and it is. So now you want to go back to your test. It tells you to move it to the dispense. You move it to the dispense position, and all of a sudden everything goes away. There's no flashing red, and at the very end it says all tests pass. So now, for the very last time, you want to go back to your sensors page and verify once again that with the Z-axis down, that it now reads the sensor for the dispensing over the carousel, and it does. So now what you want to do is you want to go back to your tests and you want to stop. And then you want to go back to your Z-axis, go back to your move, enable the power motor, and you always want to go home. After you do all your tests, make sure you always go back to the home position. And now you take your coring head back to the center stage. Go back to the sensor page, and once again verify that your spindle is home and that you are at the center stage. The next thing that you're going to do is verify that the auxiliary switch is also checked. This box should always be checked at all times. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to lower the protective shield guard. On the page you will see spindle guard and it is checked off. Once again, that indicates that the sensor to check and verify that the guard is in the correct place is working. Once you've done that, you close out. The spindle will return. You can lift the guard and you are ready to proceed. Now I'm going to show you how to check the alignment of the laser. So what you want to do is take an empty tube with a white top, take a Sharpie, and you're going to place a dot in the middle of the tube, like so. This will be your reference point. You're then going to take the tube and place it in the sample fixture. Sure it's tight. You're going to take a coring probe without the push rod, put it in the spindle, and then you're going to put the coring head back into the coring position. You're going to go into the settings bar and you're going to enable the magnet. Therefore, the coring head does not move. You're then going to take the stage handles and you are going to move the tube so that it's right under the coring probe and lock it. Then you're going to disable the magnet and you're going to move it all the way over to the dispense position. At this point, you're going to enable magnet 2, which now holds the coring head in place over the dispense position. And now you're going to enable the laser. The laser will come on and the laser should be within 1 millimeter of the dot. And it is. So that's how you check that the laser is aligned. Next, we're going to insert a coring probe into the spindle. If you notice that the coring probe is a distinct shape. This is the probe. This is the push rod. The push rod goes inside the coring probe. They come assembled together as is. You will notice the shape. The shape inside the spindle is the same. You need to be able to insert the coring probe with the push rod at the top. It is a fit like a glove. In order to insert the coring probe, you want to go to the spindle collar, this is the collar, and push it all the way up. You then want to insert the spindle, the coring probe, into the spindle like so, and then push the collar down. You will hear a click. Once it is inserted correctly, you cannot get it out. It is secure. The next thing that we're going to do as part of the installation is you want to verify that the coring probe is centered over the tube located into the destination carousel. We're going to run through the software. So you're going to move forward once you've inserted your probe. You're going to move forward again. We've already inserted the probe. You're going to move through the software. It says spindle guard. You're going to put your spindle guard down. You're going to hit OK. You're going to continue. You're going to hit core. The spindle will start. It will start to descend as if it was coring into a sample. The next step it will tell you is to raise the spindle guard and move it to the dispense position. You then move forward and now it will say tap OK to dispense. You want to tap OK and you want to move the carousel with the tube so that the coring probe descends and is into the tube. You then want to look at the tube and you want to look at the coring probe and verify that it is centered in the tube that's in the carousel, and it is. Then you want to move forward again. The spindle will raise. It will tell you to go to the load position and unload the probe. To unload the probe, once again, you want to lift up the collar and at the same time grab the coring probe and remove it. The last thing that you want to verify is that you should see 2 millimeters of the push rod extended through the bottom teeth of the coring probe. That tells you and that verifies that the push rod and the automated ejector that is inside the instrument is working correctly and has been able to push the push rod, which will then push your core into your tube. So by looking at the 2 millimeters, I now know that that is correct and that my instrument is all ready to go. I put the spindle, the coring head back to the stage position. I hit the return button and you're back to your main menu. Once you have verified that the laser works, that the spindle guard goes up and down and the sensors come on, and that when you go to the dispense position, your tube is centered over the coring probe, you want to then make sure that your handles that can move the stage move freely. They are locked, they are tightened through screws on either side. They're thumb screws, you just loosen them and you can then move the stage around. And it should move freely and easily. Then to lock, you then tighten your thumb screws and then the stage can't move. The next thing that you want to make sure is the sample fixture. It also has a thumb screw. You want to loosen it, not all the way, but you want to make sure that your handle can open and close easily. Then, once it's in the closed position, make sure you can tighten it so that your handle is set. That concludes the installation of the CXT 353. You can now start training. The first thing that I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to insert the adapters into the sample fixture. Each adapter will come with two parts, and they will come with two tiny screws. It's best if you can find a little tiny Phillips head screwdriver to tighten and loosen your screws. So, this is a 2 ml cryo vial. This is the AJB 076. You want to bring your stage forward. You want to line up the handles on either side of your adapter to the grooves that are on either side of the fixture. And for this, you may want to widen and open up your sample fixture so you can get them in. Once they're in, you then take your screws, put your screws on either side, and screw down the screws. Not too tight, but tight enough so they lay flat. You take a 2 ml cryo vial, you put it in the fixture, you're going to tighten it up, close the fixture, and then tighten it all the way so that your tube cannot be pulled out or removed. It should be secure enough in the adapter that you can't get it out and it doesn't wiggle. You want to make sure when you are coring and you have your samples in here that they are tight and that they don't move.